Hey, what's up everybody? Today we have the 2013 Audi S5 Prestige model.
It's S5?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It is the S5.
It's faster.
It's missing 2 doors. That's what it is. I was confused with it misses 2 doors.
Well, it's pretty much like the new S5 is pretty much the S4 with 1 door missing now. Especially because what they did was the old one had the V8 engine, beast car, but then they dropped it down to the 3.0 liter supercharged V6 now. The horsepower went down by about 20 from 354 to 333.
I hate when people do that.
Yeah, I know.
I hate when car companies think that it's a good idea to drop the power in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. But the one thing though that did not get affected was the torque. The torque is still the same at 325 right now. It's probably because of the supercharged engine.
Yep.
And one thing I do like about this car is it is all-wheel drive.
Yes.
I think having the all-wheel drive, you feel the power and you have that traction with the car at all times.
Sport cars, they take away the all-wheel drive, and then you know what? It's only a half-season car for half the country, which doesn't make any sense. So it makes it an everyday car in every season, which is always great to have. But one of the things that I think that they need to update in this car, and I can't wait, is the infotainment system. Every car I've ever been in now, the screen is like
huge. It's
like 12-inch screen. It's a foot-long screen, and before you know it, now it's like they're still behind. They got a smaller screen, and it's one of those things where it's like, come up with the times. But
well, in this model, this specific model at least, they actually put in the new Audi MMI system. Is their new infotainment system. It has the Google Map overlay now.
Yes.
And the sound system's a little bit better. This has a Bang & Olufsen system. I mean, end of the day, like their technology is there, but you are right. The screen has always been like smaller for Audis. We've seen this in the past. I mean, Benz still has the smaller screens too.
Which is not something, that's a topic for another day. I mean, having the Google overlay, I think that's another thing other car companies should do, because I mean, everyone's already using Google Maps. It connects to your phone, connects to your account, and you can send the directions to your car, which is a really cool thing to do, you know? But it's something that they should really consider getting a bigger screen. I think that Audi A6 has a slightly bigger screen that pops out. It does pop out. The A6 and the A7 both have it. I think that's still really cool. Car companies don't do it anymore, and I don't know why, but it's really cool.
Exactly. I wish like this car, like I know the A8 started off with the screen that popped up, then the A6 got it, and then the A7 has it as well. I wish they slowly start putting in the A5 and the A4 as well. Yeah. Especially on the S line, it's a higher end model.
It's a luxury car. They should all have up-to-date technology and all those things. It is a luxury car. You're paying a good chunk of change to have that.
Speaking of like just this car in general, so the one we're driving right now is a manual, 6-speed manual. They do have another option of a 7-speed dual clutch automatic as well. But I think having an S5, just having a manual just makes it so much better.
It's crazy that most car companies take the manual away. So it's one of those things where it's like, we still have that. That's a great option to have.
The thing is, like, even if you're looking at like this car's direct competitors, only one of its direct competitors has a manual option. They generally compare this car with either the BMW 335 IS, which is the 335 Sport version, but that only comes in rear-wheel drive. So come winter, you can barely use that car. And the Mercedes C350, which is their V6 high-end version. But then again, the C350 doesn't have as much power, or like it's not as much fun to drive as this car. It feels a little bulky. I've driven both those cars, and it's just not fun.
I think that also the one thing that comes with Audi that you don't get, you get it with Benz, you get it with BMWs, but the styling is always, I think, one tick above. They're a little bit more daring than Mercedes is trying to be a classic car. BMW is trying to be a sportier car than Mercedes, but Audi, I feel like, outplays them in every design of car they make, like from the front LEDs to just the overall styling and body shape of a car. You can tell that's an Audi, and that's what they're the first people I feel like that did LEDs. Like they made LEDs a big deal. Now Ford Focus has one, you know. So it's like they made it the thing, and like I think they've always been one tick ahead of everyone, every luxury car company, to make, you know, those daring styling options, and it's worked out more times than it hasn't. So.
Oh no, it's gorgeous. I mean, for this 2013 model, it has a new facelift. and the new LEDs. Before the A5 used to just have like that one strip underneath, yeah, the dotted LEDs. Yeah. But now it's like the complete line. It looks like almost like a G.
I like it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's funny though. It's flipped on the A4 and the A5. It's
yeah.
Or in the S and the A's, and
yeah,
they're flipped over, which is kind of funny.
But like, it looks nice. It looks really nice on this car, and I feel like just having everything on this car and the way they made it look now, it flows with the car. It's perfect. And the interior, the seats are comfortable.
They're comfortable. I'm not gonna say this is the most comfortable seat I've ever been in. I couldn't sit in this. Maybe I don't have the settings right. It might just be the settings, but it's one of the things that I couldn't sit in this for like a 6-hour drive. I'd have to get out. And I think that's the thing with all coupes though. All sports coupes, this is what happens. It's not a luxury coupe at that rate, so it makes sense. But it is a comfortable seat. It's well bolstered. I
do like the driver's seat as well. The one thing I don't like in the manual option at least is the fact that the clutch is very deep. So in order to adjust, like, you know, my feet for like to adjust for the clutch and the accelerator, that was a little bit tough for me to get used to. I've driven the automatic one, and the automatic one with the same type of seats is perfect.
I just think that I don't like these like sport seats in cars anymore. I think I've gotten too old. My back is like, you know, I need more support in these things. But I mean, it's not the worst seat I've ever sat in. It's definitely, you're in a sports car, so you're not buying it for the comfortable seats. You're buying it to gun it down the street and the seat holds you.
Yep.
More so than sitting in a couch, basically. Yep. So I will say that, but you know, it's one of those.
And there is a lot of room in the back seat as well.
Yeah, for a coupe, there is a good amount of space. It is not something where you're gonna have stuff 4 people in, but it's also not a car where it's not impossible either. Exactly. You gotta throw the 4th person in, you can, but again, you're not buying a coupe to like have a family in here. Right?
I mean, in all honesty, if you wanted something like that, you can just get the
S4.
S4.
Yeah, just get the S4. S6 if you got the money. But the S4 is pretty much the exact same car. Got 4 doors, but this is the 2 doors.
Yeah.
Which always drives me crazy that the car with less doors costs more money. I never understood that. I don't think I ever will. I feel like doors cost money, but that's a side note.
You gotta think about it this way: the higher the number, the more it costs. You're paying for an extra. You're paying for a 1.
You could flip the numbers. I'm just saying, you could flip the numbers. You could just flip them. You got 2 doors. I mean, you got to do less things to this. There's less metal used. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be the one in these reviews for coupes, because I will always mention this.
You don't like them.
They're not functional. You can't have just a coupe.
Okay, so think about it this way. So this car would be perfect for just a guy and his wife, let's say.
Sure.
Who wants a sports car, they want a coupe, and this comes in a convertible cabriolet model as well.
Sure. There's a convertible, I give you that. But let's just say this couple buys a house, right? And they need a giant piece of wood. They better have some friends that are willing to let them borrow their 4-door cars. That's just, I don't know, it's just not functional.
Well, the thing is, at that point, you wouldn't have just this car if it's just you and your wife.
Yeah, that's what the thing, like I said, you need to have 2 cars. It just isn't functional in my mind, but I feel like a lot of people would disagree, but that's okay.
And this is a fun weekend car too.
Of course, yes. We're going to take it down these curvy roads, and it's going to be one of those things where you're going to see me lean to the side, but it's because the car is holding us. The suspension is going to hold us. The suspension in this car has gotten better than the last suspension, the V8.
Yeah.
And it's one thing that you will definitely notice on this car versus, you know, the older V8 models.
Definitely. So I haven't driven the V8 yet, but I was talking to somebody that drove the V8 and this car, and they said the suspension is a little bit better on the V8, and the V8 feels bigger. Maybe it's because it has a huge engine up front. Yeah, but like they just like, if you look at both of them side by side, it doesn't look that much bigger, but when you sit in the car, it feels a lot better.
And that's every V8 car. Like if you can jump in, just level up from cylinder to cylinder, you can feel the heaviness and like there's not something missing in this car as you move on. I imagine that the V12 M5 is like, yo, all the cars everywhere are missing something.
The V10 M5.
V10, not V10.
I mean, that was probably the last generation V10 ever made, so.
And if you have one, keep it. Don't get rid of it. That's total sidebar, don't get rid of that.
So we're in the S5 right now. 2 trims for it. There's the Premium Plus and the Prestige. The Prestige model has a lot better seats, better, like you have all the standard functionality, as well as the upgraded MMI, the Audi Advanced Key, which is pretty much what other cars companies have. A normal car, normal keyless go. A normal, keyless go. And then there's also the RS5, which is the high-end model. The only thing I don't like about the RS5, and I will be honest, they don't offer in a manual. That's still a V8, by the way.
That's what it is. It's got power.
It has power, but the thing is, like, I don't know, man. If I have a car that fast, I want it in manual. The only reason why, let me put it this way, the RS5, its direct competitor is an M3.
Yeah.
An M3 comes in manual. An M3 is one of the most fun cars to drive, hands down.
Yeah.
And the thing is, having that sort of power with a manual car just makes it so much better. I feel like this car is perfect. With 333 horsepower and a manual engine, it's a fun ride. On a weekend, I take it on the winding roads, it's perfect. But I just wish that RS5 had that the manual option as well.
Yeah. So let's just go. We've been in this car for a little bit, right? The styling of this car overall inside. One of the things that when I drove, one thing that Audi does that I actually really like is in their console, their front console for the driver, near the gauges, the middle console that tells you all the information for the car. It's full color screen, LED screen, which is great. And I think they were the first company to put navigation there.
Yep.
Instead of looking to the side as you're driving, it's right there. Now every other car company does that. Their screen in the middle has all the information you need all the time, and it's a great looking screen. Right in between the gauges. The gauges look really good too.
Yep.
With the white light, it's a great gauge on top of that. And then one thing that I always gonna want in a car that I just haven't gotten yet is a flat bottom steering wheel. It gives you that racing sport feel.
Exactly.
It's well bolstered. It's a great steering wheel to have. And I think if you're driving a car all day, the steering wheel better be nice. And this is one of those great steering wheels that Audi does that goes through the whole Volkswagen thing, that even the Volkswagen GDIs have them on the Jettas.
The Jettas have them now.
The Jetta, yeah, which is great. And like I know that the C-Class, you get them in all their sport models, right? Only the AMGs in their sport edition models, but which is one of their competitors, which is great. I think that's like something that Audi started doing and they need to keep doing, and other car companies need to start doing these, putting these flat bottoms in. If you're gonna make a sports car, make it sporty, you know. And then moving on to like their infotainment system, we went about their screen being small, but
and their banging sound system.
And their banging sound system because it's banging. But the infotainment system itself, for something that's been around for so long, it still feels new. Yeah, it's on a smaller screen, but the actual OS running in the background feels smooth. It runs quickly, and on top of that, you know, it still looks new, which is something that I can't say that all the direct competitors have. Like that's what I was saying about Mercedes earlier. I feel like their infotainment system, their OS that runs in the background, was made in 1997.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that like I can't buy a car that has bad technology. If you're spending $55,000 in this prestige model, how are you gonna tell me you don't put technology into it? It doesn't make sense. It's the easiest part. It's honestly the cheapest part. It's just the OS running in the background, and the OS on this car is still great. It runs smoothly for something that's been around for a while.
Yep.
And then you get, you know, on this car you get the heated seats. There's no cooled seats on this car, which is something I always wish all cars have, cool seats. In summer, cool seats make all the difference to me, I think. But they have kept the gate. They kept all the controls underneath the underneath the shift knob. All the controls are there, easy to use. I think it's one of the things where it's easy to use in this car. And even going through the infotainment system is where you can change the settings of the cars from sport to not sport, eco, and then I think they have a personalized menu where you can make it whatever you want. If you're an advanced driver and you want to do that, a novice driver probably shouldn't mess with that. in all honesty,
they have the dynamic mode. Oh man, once you put this car in dynamic mode, the drive is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's their equivalent to their sport mode. Right? You can hear it a little bit at the end when you gun this any S-line car. You can hear the exhaust, which is great. But it's not overwhelming either. You can turn off dynamic and it all goes away. The car seems insulated and you can't hear the outside road noise, which is something that I think that in sports cars you end up losing is you hear the road noise, you feel the road. And this car's sitting on 19-inch rims, so you can kind of feel the road, but that's with any sport car with 19-inch rims. Versus like when we did the GS, you could feel the road, but it's still in this car and that car, it's not that bad. There's definitely cars where you can feel the road, like some of the real sports cars, you can feel the road, and it's not
and
fun.
Those cars that have like 20-inch rims and they're not supposed to have anything higher than like maybe 19. Those cars, those are the ones where you definitely feel it.
No car that's a car should have 20s. That should go to an SUV because you're just gonna feel every bump in the road. But this is a good ride. I'm sitting here in the passenger and it's a good ride. I could sit here. The seat is a little bolstered, but you know I could sit here for a few hours and then I have to stop.
If it's like a drive for like 4 to 5 hours, this would be a perfect drive. Like I would love to drive this car, like on the highway, because like when you want to open this car up, you can.
Definitely.
But then again, if you put it in comfort mode, you're in 6th gear, you're just cruising.
So this car starts at $55,000 about. Direct competitors sit at their C350, which is around the same price range, and the 335, BMW 335. What are the Japanese car makers making in this thing? The RC, you could say the RC, the Lexus RC would compete directly with this as well.
The RC 350 S Sport.
Yeah, the Acura doesn't make a coupe that's going to compete with this. And the Infiniti, they have
the G37.
The G37 and their Q60, right? It's called the Q62. Yeah. They've gone through way too many naming changes. But those are your direct competitors. The Japanese models are obviously cheaper models, but I don't think you get the same drive. You don't get the turbos in those cars. For some reason, Japanese cars don't throw turbos in the cars yet, which all German cars are doing. But I think, and from the standpoint, if you want a car with technology that hasn't gone a little older and just a fun car to drive, I mean, this is that car.
Exactly.
But what are you missing out on this car? Like, what do you feel like? You've driven a lot of the German cars. What do you feel like you're missing in this car in comparison to the 335 and the C350? In their coupe editions, or not their coupe editions, because this is just an A4 with 2 doors.
Exactly.
So you could compare to that. I mean, I think this definitely has a better infotainment system than Mercedes, but the iDrive is still ages better than this.
It's still, definitely.
The iDrive, they've made so many updates to that iDrive that it's like they've worried about the software and they've made it better. Versus this is good. This is in the middle of the road, and I think that's what Audi is. Wherever one car company lacks, this will be better than that. But where one car company excels, it's still gonna be a tick behind.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've driven those cars. What do you feel like is the difference?
If you're comparing it to the C350,
do that one.
I like this a lot better, tons better. I think the C-Class is just. I mean, end of the day, when I sit in a Mercedes, I get that Mercedes feel. Even though it's
Mercedes
it's
a little bit more boring.
It is very boring. And the C-Class, I feel like it would just be for long drives. It wouldn't be like a weekend car. It would be like a daily car. Like I wish I have another car on top of the C-Class.
Agreed.
It's just like a car that I have. Right?
Yeah.
With this car, it can be a weekend car. It can be my everyday driver. Given if it's a manual car, I don't like sitting in traffic every single day. Might not be.
But you know that if you're a manual driver, you know that, and you've accepted that.
Exactly. The thing is, like, it's still like the manual's not that tough. Like the clutch is very light. I wish it wasn't as deep as it is. It's still very light, so I wouldn't mind driving this every single day. With the C-Class, it would just be like an everyday boring car. The thing is, with the BMW, the 335, there's just something about that car. I can't put my finger on it, but when you drive it, it's a fun car, especially their coupe.
Yeah.
Even like the rear wheel drive one, like if it's just the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you don't have like the stability or the control that you get with the all-wheel drive, but the BMW 335 does offer an all-wheel drive. But their IS model, which is a little bit faster and it has the sport suspension and everything, that car is just beautiful. It looks gorgeous. I think the 335 IS looks better than this car, in all honesty, on the outside.
All right. That's
the only thing I like about this car more than that is the LEDs on this. I like it better than the Angel Eyes, for sure.
The Angel Eyes is that's an enthusiast thing, right? Like if you're an enthusiast, you're gonna like that more than this. I think Audi's done a great job styling this car. I don't think I don't think any car company actually compares to Audi's cars. At first, I mean, they're not one of those things where it's like they make it too early and it's like you're weirded out by the car, the way they look. There wasn't like one of those like cross-touring cars that all the Hondas and were making, and they were just ugly and never caught on.
Yeah.
I mean, their dares in styling have always worked out. I don't even the A3. A3 is a little car, but I would not mind it just to have on the side. And I think that's like pretty much the whole lineup is where you'd be like, wouldn't mind having this car at all. There's no complaints, at least from me. I definitely think this car looks better than the 3 Series, but.
And maybe because like I'm a Beamer guy, so I'm definitely gonna prefer Beamers over anything else. But like, don't get me wrong, driving wise, they're pretty much the same. I mean, the BMW, it has a little bit more kick to it. I mean, they go after like the performance aspect of it.
Yeah.
Audi goes after just like the holistic drive.
Yeah.
So Audi is like more, it's better for like everyday commuting as well. BMW, I feel like if it's like a weekend car, I would have a lot of fun with it. And like if I'm spending what, $58,000 for this, and with all the options, it's going to a little bit over $60,000, right?
Yeah.
I can get a used M3 for around the same price, and M3 is just a beast of a car.
with the RS5. It's like it's weird because it's nice looking, it has a lot of power, and I feel like if you're getting that car, it's because you want an Audi. You don't want anything else, because you're gonna get a tick down on power. You're gonna tick down unless you get the AMG, you're gonna get a tick down on luxury, and it's a tick down in everything. But you're getting it because you want an Audi, and I feel like it's because you want to be different. Because there's so many M3s that you end up seeing, and there's so many like AMGs you end up seeing that you don't see as many RSs out there, which makes it all the difference. Not, you want to be different. I understand that. That's why I got my car when I got it. Not anymore now. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, do all those fun things, and we got more videos for you coming.
Thanks, guys.